Des Moines, Iowa. An Iowa man stood up at a recent town hall and said he had an easy question for Ron DeSantis: how would Florida's governor handle abortion, which is sure to be a big issue in 2024. DeSantis said he would talk about it like I did in Florida. I just made it clear where we were and what we were doing. He continued without using the word abortion for about 4 minutes. Instead, he criticized his opponent, Donald Trump, for not showing up at the debates and Nikki Haley for her campaign gaffes. Prior to this year's Iowa Republican caucuses, abortion was largely absent as an issue. It's a notable change in a state that has long supported religious conservatives who have vowed to restrict the procedure. Part of change is that Republicans achieved a generational goal when the Supreme Court struck down federally guaranteed right to abortion. But it also underscores widespread fear among Republican candidates and voters that it has become politically dangerous to voice their desire to further restrict abortion rights in 2024. Democrats have exceeded expectations in the 2022 midterm elections and in many state races that campaigned on the issue last year. And President Joe Biden's reelection campaign plans to put abortion rights at the center of his strategy this year. At this point, if we're going to keep losing elections because of this issue, I'd like to put everything aside and let God be the judge, said Greg Jennings, a 68-year-old retired painting contractor. He was attending a rally for Trump in Clear Lake, Iowa. In interviews with more than 24 GOP voters in state last week, almost none cited abortion as one of top issues this election year. Instead, he pointed to concerns about border economy or America's place in world. That doesn't mean there aren't strong exceptions among some evangelical voters who represent a core segment of the Republican base. Winterset, Iowa resident Brian Downs said abortion is a huge issue for him. He said he would change his convention plans for Trump next Monday only if the former president reverses course and embraces the pro-choice movement. Downs urged his party not to ignore opposition to abortion rights. Pro-life presidents have won by going back to, say, Ronald Reagan, always pro-life. The Bushes are pro-life. That didn't cancel any of it. So it's just an old story that won't die. Cindy Leonhart, 68, who wore a DeSantis button on her shirt after hearing the governor's speech last Friday, said she doesn't believe abortion should be legal but said it's not a deciding issue for me. Early in the Iowa campaign, DeSantis and some in the primary had criticized Trump for refusing to endorse a national abortion ban. Trump occasionally uses Roe v. He highlighted his role as president in appointing the Supreme Court justices who helped overturn the Wade case. DeSantis and other GOP hopefuls are now increasingly talking about the need for compassion for women. Haley, the former UNM